Hey, how's it going, man?
It's a very cool jacket.
I like the jacket a lot. Yeah.
Actually,
Really? Like really? Alright. I was gone for 15 seconds.
Yeah, grilled cheese crate on the truck. Right, everything on the truck. You look down on the truck. That's like a part of the rest of my business marketing truck. Yeah, come on, yeah, come on. It was loud, loud. When I say dive bar, you know it's mustache. Just all the mustache. I don't. Unless we're going to California.
Thank you for coming out.
It's so funny because Rivers just kept walking back and forth. So much she recognized him.
Check, guys, how you doing? Hi, welcome, hello, hi, how are you? I know I'm not very professional, I come here and start yelling at you to get your attention, but a bunch of my comic friends are on the other side of me and they're being very loud, so I have to passive aggressively yell at you, but I'm actually yelling at them to shut up! Because we're about to get a show started. You see, that's how I have to treat my friends, though. That's how I treat my friends, because I'm a caring individual. Welcome to the Unpopular Opinion comedy show here in the beautiful Hollywood Hotel. Again, as we try to start this show, I'm going to ask all my comedy buddies to quiet the F down. Or maybe relocate over to this direction where our wonderful audience is sitting to support the show. Now, sorry, you're more than welcome to move closer to us. You know, we're not llamas here. He's going to move the whole seat. That's not for him. You want to That's what I'm saying. You guys can move the table closer, you know. We don't want to project the comedy at you. We want to make it as cozy as possible. You guys can switch couches and make the couch slide. Oh, now you guys are left all alone, all the way in the back over there. Oh, you're so far. I wish we could touch. I miss you already. Welcome to the show. We're about to get things started. Appreciate you guys for relocating, coming over to support. I'm very excited. We're live streaming this for our subscribers. Hi, subscribers. How are you? We're about to have a great goddamn show. And what's the old adage? Leading this comedy train right on down the tracks. Guys, I want you right now to clap it up for your host for the evening, the one and only, the lovely, the vivacious Jen Scott, everybody.
Hey team, how we doing? Yeah! Woo! Oh my goodness. I'm proud of everybody for being here tonight. Thank everybody for coming. Thank you people online for watching. Yeah! The lovely Hollywood Hotel! So, I want to get right to it. I want to play a game with y'all tonight, okay? You guys like games? Yeah. Hates games, don't care. Okay. So, I have decided I want to stop saying the phrase, you guys. Alright? I'm taking power away from the patriarchy, one you guys at a time, alright? So instead of saying you guys, I'm going to say, hey team. Okay? So anytime y'all hear me say you guys, I want y'all to buzz me, okay? We're going to really take down the patriarchy. We're going to take down the baker patriarchy tonight. All the bakers, fuck them. Alright, so we're going to practice, okay? You guys. Perfect, team. Yes! It's going to be a great night. Okay, so happy a month and a half into 2019. Wow, we're doing it. Yeah! Yeah! Very exciting. I'm very proud of all of us. I'm not having nervous breakdowns anymore, you guys. Oh! Buzz. Team? I'm not having nervous breakdowns anymore, okay? I'm only having confident ones. Get on board. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anyway. Just go for it. Last night, I ate mushrooms, had a panic attack that a mushroom was in my throat. I knew the whole time there was not a mushroom in my throat, okay? But my brain was like, you're definitely gonna choke to death on this mushroom in your throat, you stupid bitch. And so I was like, not able to get that out of my mind, okay? I was not able to. But what I could do was tell myself that I needed it in my throat. I needed that mushroom in my throat to live, okay? At one point in my head, I said to myself, all the cool kids have mushrooms in their throats. So just what I'm saying is confidently do whatever the fuck you want, okay? You need your anxiety. It's a part of you. My hair is blue. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Wow. I need to redo it. It's like half blue right now. And I don't know if y'all have just any of those days where you just want to cut off just all of your head. Yeah. Just really go for it. Who needs it? You know what I'm saying? No decisions anymore. Remember that anxiety? Forget all that. Headless women in 2019, y'all. Hot new look. Gangbanging neck hole, America. They can't say no anymore. I could say that. I'm an annoying feminist. Because that's a joke about consent, believe it or not. But I have a hard time believing in anything these days. So shout out if you believe in anything anymore. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, you believe in something? Fuck yeah! But I find myself really wanting to believe in something. And I never thought I'd be the kind of person that like carries around rocks. But I'm that bitch now. I'm like, oh, my crystals will help me. That's how badly I want to believe in something. And I don't know, I grew up in a house with a mother that was Christian and a dad that was Jewish, and so my house was passive aggressive. I'm just kidding, it was regular aggressive. But I don't know, I don't think that like nothing happens when you die. Because why would anything ever be that easy? Why? You know? Nothing, like, what if this is just the line to the next thing? Like, we're just waiting in line. But, I don't believe in God. But I do believe in rappers believing in God. They ask for bitches and money, and that's what they get. Every time. It's beautiful. Sign me up for that God today now, okay? That's what I want. Yell out if you know what FB stands for. Don't be scared. Very close. Facebook? It's very close. Free bleeding! Yeah! Tricked you! Tricked you! Does anybody know what free bleeding is? Wow! Yeah! It's where you stop buying twat cotton altogether and just go for it! You know, just like vampire snail around! Team, I don't know if that's how vampires or snails work, but we're gonna find out! But I do think I want to start selling things I bleed onto online. Yeah. It's not fair. I don't want to buy that shit. I want to make money off my fucking blood. Yeah. It's not gross because I did it. It's gross because they'll buy it. But it will be my true period piece. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to get your next comment up here. Let's make it really
So I like team. Team is good, but you actually used the perfect one, which is y'all, right? Who would have thought that the perfect gender-neutral plural pronoun would come from the most regressive part of the country? Huh? Great. It's great to be here. I always say that shit wherever I'm at, but with the Hollywood Hotel, it's always extra true because I have a little tradition. I've been performing stand-up comedy in this venue since I moved here in 2012, and it's very special to me. And there's something I always like to do before I perform here, which is to go on TripAdvisor, go to Hollywood Hotel's TripAdvisor reviews, and then just search the word comedy and see what the regular people have to say about us down here. So this is a recent one. This is from Shirley Ann, visiting from Brisbane, Australia. Said, and this is so goddamn weird. I found a comedy show that is offered downstairs some evenings to be vulgar and in bad taste. And then here's what's weird. The sun is only there until late afternoon, so go early by the pool. Her complaint about the pool is that the sun is only there until the late afternoon. You know, the sun. How the sun works. I don't know how the fuck it works in Australia. I guess it goes the other way, but still. It's bullshit. What are you talking about, Sealand? Get over yourself. It's also great to be performing in this part of town because we are in the shadow of the old Scientology Center over there. Is this your year? Is everybody getting their personality test done? I did it when I first moved here, just for funsies, because it was free and I didn't have any money. I was like, yeah, that would be funny, you know. And it was terrifying. That building is huge, and they take you into the you know, the inner sanctum where there's no windows you can punch your way out of. Like, it's fucking scary. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to get the hell out of here after I did this personality test. And as I'm leaving, they have an office in the Scientology Center that's all roped off, and it looks like, you know, it says L. Ron Hubbard, founder, above the door, and it looks like Mad Men or something. Like, it's very mid-century modern. It looks like, you know, I'm thinking like, oh my God, this is like his office. They left it the way he would have left it, you know, when he died or whatever. And I got out of there, and then a couple days later, a friend of mine, I told him this story. I was like, yeah, they got his office still all done up the way he left it. And my buddy who knows about such things was like, oh no, I've read the books and shit. I've seen the Leah Remini thing. That's not his office. They keep an office for him in every Scientology center all across the world, so that if L. Ron Hubbard comes back to Earth, he'll have a place to work.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, that's the shittiest resurrection of all time. Okay? It's like you crossed the transom of death back into the world of the living, and you got paperwork. The fuck? Just wakes up from a dead sleep. It's like Jesus gets to sit on a golden throne for 1,000 years, and I'm just over here like, hey, who moved my teletype? I don't know how to use a Mac. I've been dead for 30 years. Like, it's weird because I have watched all like the Leah Remini thing, and it's hard to feel bad for like the people affected by Scientology because it's mostly rich fucks, right? Like it's mostly rich people. Like Scientology is the fire festival of religions. Okay. I don't feel bad for you. I'm sorry. I do come from the South originally. It's funny because my hometown in Alabama has apparently got a hookup with the Incan Empire all of a sudden because all of my redneck friends have started doing ayahuasca this past year. And like normally with ayahuasca, like you're supposed to learn stuff about yourself. It's like what medicine men take, and then they disappear into the Andes Mountains and they come back having dedicated their lives to asceticism. My buddy Scooter took ayahuasca and he just decided I have to move to Miami. That's it. Into Revelation. Dude is just like, hey baby, I just want to touch God's beard and party in the city where the heat is on. All right? It's like the thing that hippies don't understand about drugs is like they'll say shit like, dude, if everyone could just take mind expanding drugs, change the world, man. World peace, all the problems solved. I'm like, nah, man. Mediocre people have mediocre thoughts, even on drugs, ladies and gentlemen. That's not how it works. You don't need mushrooms. You need an education. All right, it's the only way out of there. Can I get a sad clap from the bar? Thank you, sir. There he goes again. I think he's literally just dropping boxes on the ground. I love that. I thought it was a sad clap. No, it's even sadder. They're just unloading pallets and stuff in the bags. It's weird. The thing with the drug thing is interesting because I think that you can track. Look, I've been trying to tell this joke for like 3 months now, and I haven't figured out whether these are just Batman thoughts or they're relatable, but I don't care. I'm going head first. Oreos have gotten weird. And I go back to the drug thing because I think like the strangeness of snack foods and how strange they're getting parallels almost exactly with like the legalization of marijuana. Like I think as weed becomes more widely available, snack foods are just fucking going for it. My proof of this is that I went to the store and they have a cherry cola Oreo, and it was like have you ever eaten something so weird that you just kept eating it? Thank you. Yes, again, back to this might just be a fat man thing. I don't care. I ate an entire sleeve of those things. I still don't know if I liked them. I'm just like, it's so weird. They had like Pop Rocks in the icing. It was fucking crazy. It was as if Mr. Oreo has died, and his son, Ken Oreo, showed up with rainbow suspenders and was like, I want to be the snack food what Dolly was debating. All right, who's ready to get surreal? Like, for Halloween, they had these flavors. They had cotton candy, they had caramel corn, and then they had Swedish fish. And it was as if Ken Oreo was like, I want our flavors to closely mimic the shittiest house on the block at Halloween. It's like, Well, next year we'll roll out those orange and black peanut butter things that break out your baby teeth. Who's with me? Ah! All right, thanks everybody. Give it up for one and only Jim Scott. Unpops. You can take it to himself.
We have a fellow blue-haired woman. I love her to death. Her name is
Fuck yes, blue hair solidarity. Oh god. Do you ever get men believing that you will understand their sad? Their hair is blue and so is my brain. I don't know. Guys, we need more deadbeat orphans in the cultural lexicon. Let me explain. Every story we have about orphans, like starting from Hercules all the way to fucking Harry Potter, like you have to fucking save the world, or at least marry a Disney prince. Like that's what the expectation we have put on people who've just lost their parents. I've fucked a lot of orphans. They're not that special. What about like some cultural lore about an orphan who couch surfs until he's 25 and still updates his DeviantArt? Like that's something that you can attainably get to. Then I realized a lot of these orphans that we think about as orphans, like the Disney princesses, technically have dads. Like most of the Disney princesses technically have dads somewhere in the background. Like Hercules has a dad, he's just a piece of shit swan rapist. And that's when I realized who's writing these stories. Bunch of piece of shit, swan rapist, child abandoning fathers going, yeah, my kid's doing great, she's questing, she's gonna save the world, she's gonna marry royalty. Honestly, it's great that I abandoned her. Who had a shitty 2018? Show of hands. Anybody? Anything? I beat all of you. I was raped and pillaged by a pirate in 2018. It even sounds better than this because technically a pirate is just a criminal who lived on a boat. He stole my vessel. It's an Elantra. It fucking sucks. I skip my family's Passover. This is when they get loud. And I understand it, honestly. Because that's what my brain does when this happens. Yeah, I skip my family's Passover Seder to get date raped. But it's fine because the whole point of Passover is suffer like we suffered in the Bible. So I'm a good Jew. I'm good. It's good. So I got PTSD a little bit, and it prepares you for a lot of shit that you really do not need to prepare for. Like the mentality of someone who has PTSD. Do you guys know what you're gonna do when aliens come to Earth? Because I fucking do. Here's what you do, guys. You go to the zoo. You take the aliens to the pandas. You ask the aliens, hey, isn't it weird that we're forcing the pandas to fuck? And if they go, no, that's not weird, run! So I kind of had a breakdown after the Catamount hearings, because obviously. I thought I was getting out of town. I have to get out of LA. I have to leave. You know where I chose to go? Vegas. Where every man is doing rapist cosplay. You want a lounge rapist or a frat rapist? 'Cause that's the city that has both. Every older man in Las Vegas looks like he's about to corner you to explain Jim Morrison. This is where I went for comfort and support. I saw a dead dog in the street. This is true. I saw a dead dog in the street. ponytail. My rapist went back online literally last night, and I also smoked 20. I'm not a smoker. I smoked 20 cigarettes last night. I'm glad I'm sounding like a human right now. One of the things that he did afterwards was send me a bunch of emails to a gun range. I thought to try to get me to kill myself, and I remember distinctly thinking, based on the emails and the location of the gun range, I'll kill myself, but I'm not driving to fucking LAX. It's the most LA I have ever had in my life. I'll dig myself out of this depression hole. And hey, you guys heard about these smart condoms? No, but honestly, I read about smart condoms and they're also terrifying, so never mind. It's these condoms that people use that track like performance and stamina and keep all the data. A straight man invented that. Because only a straight man would think, if only there was some way I could get feedback. Put my dick in a robot. So it's logical. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me.
Team, this next comic is one of my best friends. He's got a banana shirt on.
She accurately described my shirt, guys. She did it. I am too big. That's what the world around me tells me. Walkways? No. Nightclubs? No. Nightclub walkways? Fuck no. People always say, you're tall, that's great, isn't it convenient? You can get stuff off the high shelves. Yeah. But what about low shelves? Nightclubs are the worst though, because I'm too big in 3 dimensions. I'm too tall, I'm too wide, and I'm too... I feel like I'm like the square block in Tetris. Like I can turn, but it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna do anything. It's awful. Like getting a drink is just a series of bumps and apologies. Excuse me, sorry, just trying to get, excuse me, just trying to get through, excuse me, sorry, just trying to, okay, excuse me, sorry, just trying to get, okay, excuse me, sorry about that, excuse me, sorry about that, trying to get through, excuse me. I need 2 drinks, because I really don't want to do that. Okay, thank you. Let's see, how high can I hold these? Not that high, they can see your pits. How about this high? Yeah, that should be good. All right, turn around. Excuse me, sorry about that, excuse me, sorry about that. Nice to see you again. Excuse me, sorry about that, excuse me. I don't like being in crowds. I think the only time I like being in crowds is if it's mosh pit rules. Like, wait, it's good if I knock people over and I'm clumsy? That's amazing. I love it. That's why I do comedy, actually. It's not for the attention, it's just the personal space. I like the perimeter. I like having, wow, I can really breathe up here. This is great. I can step in any direction and I don't have to apologize. I went to Vietnam recently, and I learned that I'm too big for Vietnamese rain slicks. Not an option. But what is? A rain slick for an adult Vietnamese person and their motorbike. That fit perfect. That fit like a glove. Like, me and an adult Vietnamese person on a motorbike aren't the same weight, but we're the exact volume. Like, you pour us in the same size cup and we wouldn't spill. I think the weirdest part about that, though, wasn't the rain slick, it was the headlight window. You know the headlight window? Well, mine happened to be right here. So, just right in this general region. So it's nice. I was just walking through Vietnam and the rain's like, excuse me, sorry about that, excuse me, you want the American crotch, it's great. Hello, excuse me, you want the American crotch, it's very good, I have a lot of it, it's right here, it's all right there, it's on display. If you guys want, I'm actually advertising products there when it rains here. So you just shoot me $30 on Venmo and I'll plug your product. Put it right there, give me an 8.5 by 11, put it right in the window. It's a moneymaker, baby. I'm too big for certain beverages. I can't take shots because it looks like I'm kidding. I can't drink espresso either. And my fiance's dad will use that against me. Nailed it first time. He served me espresso in a tiny mug, and then he just laughs at me while I sip it. Oh, you like when I look dumb? You know what I look really dumb doing? Banging your daughter. You want to watch that? No? Just the sipping? Okay. We'll do it your way, Pops. That's quality space work. Put that down on a real thing. If it was a fake thing, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. I was getting a massage, and the woman asked if I wanted more pressure. I said, sure. And when she dug in, I had a breakthrough. Grandpa was an alcoholic. So Dad feared being at home. And he grew up to be a workaholic. Now I fear hard work. This is a good massage. You ever go to a massage therapist and realize you need a regular therapist? That joke is called deep issue massage. I was lucky enough to grow up with a dad. Not everyone's so lucky. Some people have a dad that left for a pack of smokes and never came back. And that's sad. But a pack of smokes is way cooler than a kid. You ever seen a picture of James Dean with a baby rolled up in his sleeve? Pack of smokes every time. But there are kids today dealing with something way worse. There are kids today who have a dad that left for the vape store and never came home. That's sad and embarrassing. Dude, your dad left you for sour watermelon vape juice? Were you even fucking try it? Do you know the kickflip, Bryce? Did you try getting a mohawk? How bad do you want to keep your dad? Even having a dad that sticks around and vapes would be rough. Can you put your father on the phone?
Actually I can't because he's in the backyard exhaling clouds of creme brulee vapor.
He named me Trevin. I hate him. Why did we call it a dad bod and not a father figure? I think it's a better name. Because, you know, some people don't have father figures growing up. Surprise, you get one in your 30s. It just shows up. Just shows up. You get a father, and you get a father, and you get a father. Just wait, it'll be there. So soon, so soon. I've had back problems my whole life. I think it's because I'm spineless. That's the problem. But I realized how bad it was when I was in Thailand and I was getting a massage, because the woman gave me an incredible massage and I was actually feeling a little bit of relief for like the first time in a year. And I stood up and immediately she laid down and started getting massaged by 2 people. It was like she sucked all the snake venom out of me, but then it was poisoning her. Like, no, get it out. And that's when I realized that I really need more therapy. So I'm still just stressed out, guys. I've been Chris Crittenden. Thank you so much.
We got engaged today, team. But this next comic, he's the daddy of Unpops now. He's something special.
I told her to say I'm something special. And she did, and I really appreciate it. How's everyone doing? Good. I'm excited because it is almost my favorite time of the year. And by that I mean it's almost baseball season. Yeah, not much from the audience. That's fine. I'll turn you around. Baseball is my favorite sport. If anyone out there has kids and those kids want to get into sports at some point, make sure they play baseball. Because baseball is the safest sport. No concussions in baseball. Because there's no moving in baseball. Everything about baseball is geared toward making sure as many people as possible get to chill as much as possible. That's why it's our national pastime. We don't care about the game, we just like being lazy. Like, you can be on your phone most of the time and still be pretty good at baseball. That's why it's such an amazing sport. Think of what constitutes a perfect game in baseball. No hits, no runs, no errors, no action. That's perfect. That's baseball operating at peak efficiency right there. And then people are like, oh yeah, but baseball's so boring. Yeah, it's supposed to be boring. That's the point of baseball. And think about, like I just mentioned, a perfect game. That's for a pitcher. For a hitter, what's the best thing you can do? A home run, right? And then what's your payoff? You get to casually trot around the bases and then sit right the fuck back down. That's baseball for you. I love it. I don't know why every really great home run hitter doesn't immediately ask to be traded to the American League. Because the American League has a designated hitter, which means that's all you have to do is hit. National League doesn't have that. So then the pitchers have to hit and the fat dudes have to play first base. Gross. Fucking gross. I also like that baseball it's the least violent sport with the most violent equipment. Like, there are definitely other sports that involve more personal contact, but no one's confidently marching into the post-apocalypse with a football in their hands. Like, what are you going to do with that? But a baseball bat, that's a tool you can use in combat right there. I think that's why baseball got rid of steroids. It's not that they cared about drugs. All your granddad's favorite sports heroes were on speed, except for the ones who were cool enough to do coke. And that shit carried on for decades in baseball, and nobody cared. No, the reason they got rid of steroids is because you don't want the guy who just mainlined rage juice in the locker room to also be the only person on the field with a weapon. They knew they were one high and tight fastball away from Barry Bonds making some unsuspecting middle relief pitcher the Chris Benoit's family of baseball. I don't care if you ground, I'm just glad you got the reference. That is all I care about there. That was pretty dark. So yeah, and like, think about, like, I do think that played a part in it, because that's a dangerous situation, a guy all roided up with a bat in his hand. Like, think about the most famous fight in baseball history. Does anyone know? Robin Ventura versus Nolan Ryan. Robin Ventura gets hit by a pitch, takes exception to that, and decides to charge the pitcher's mound, ostensibly, so he can fuck Nolan Ryan up. That is not what happened. Instead, he got put in a headlock and punched in the face 1,000 times by a man who was old enough to be his father. Humiliating. Now imagine if he brought his bat with him. That's a completely different fight there. Best case scenario, we come out the other end marveling at how fast Nolan Ryan could run at that. Worst case scenario, Nolan Ryan dies. Imagine how different the game of baseball would be if in the early 90s, in their pre-strike heyday, pitching legend Nolan Ryan just got beat to a bloody pulp on national television. Imagine a world where YouTube is just pulling down video after video of Nolan Ryan's shiny, bald Texas oil company accountant head just getting caved in by a Louisville slugger wielded by a dude named Robin. I don't think we would have even needed 9/11 after that. We would have been all plenty traumatized. Thank you very much. But, so yeah, baseball had to get rid of steroids. That's what that extended with Nolan Ryan's grisly on-field death was about. They had to get rid of steroids. Who cares? It happens. Things change. Life changes. Comedy changes. Everything changes. Shoes change. Why the fuck's that still happening? We've had feet forever, and they've been the same the whole time. We've had the data necessary to make smart footwear decisions, and we're still perfecting that shit. So, steroids in baseball, they're gone. I forgot what I was going to say about shoes. Oh, no, I didn't. Shoes, they're changing a lot. Most recently, Nike put out the first pair of publicly available self-lacing athletic shoes, which is great because I want to work out, I want to be healthy, but it's nothing I want to bend down and tie my shoes over. I'm not made of free time, obviously. And the part where I say they're publicly available is important because Nike did a couple years ago release a replica version of the self-lacing shoes from Back to the Future. But they only put out like 89 pairs. They were like 10 grand each. They were all bought by like rappers and open mic comics. So most people couldn't get them. But now, thankfully, Nike has released the HyperAdapt 1.0, which can be yours for the low price of $720. Like for that money, you can just buy a third world sweatshop and a team of kids to sew you up a pair of Nikes every 2 weeks. That's pretty excessive. But the thing about these shoes, they're not all bad. I get that they're expensive, but that money goes to a good cause because one thing they have, little LED light in the soles. You know what that's for? So you can monitor the battery life. Because if there's anything, it's more shit we have to charge. It's not bad enough that you have to keep your phone charged up enough to call an Uber at the end of the night. Now, you have to worry about when that inevitable moment arrives, when your Uber driver reveals himself to be a rapist or an open mic comic, and you have to get the fuck out of there. Now you're falling all over your shoes because you forgot to charge them when you left, and all your friends wear the self-lacing Reeboks, and those use a different cable. That's how Black Mirror episodes happen. Tie your own goddamn shoes. Hey, you guys are great. Thank you so much.
I have a bunch of intrusive thoughts. Thank you. The big one, a lot of paranoia is I'm always afraid people are afraid of me. It got real bad last year. Last year I was like, I stopped leaving the house. Like, I gotta do something about this. I can't live this way. So I did. I lost 50 pounds. I lost 50 pounds. It took me 50 fucking pounds to realize they had nothing way. It's like, let's take another draft. That has nothing to do with it. All I learned was that no matter how much weight I lose, I'm always going to have terrifying eyes. That's all. Dude, I have the eyes of, like, each pupil has a map to a federal building. And amount of cardio can fix that. I don't know how to fix that. That's a different problem. Now I'm just skinny and scary. That's not better. Not skinny. Let's take it down a notch. I was physically horrified looking too. Like this is how I realized I was scary looking. This is a true story. I live near downtown LA. I'm walking downtown LA. It's like 3 a.m. I make a sharp turn, and there's just this dude there. There's this big, fat, hairy, scary looking. Like he looks like shit. He looks like he just quit heroin, to quit cocaine, to quit drinking, to turn 19. He does not look good. I see him, I jump. I look at him, he jumps just as hard when he sees me. And then I realize that is not another dude, that is my reflection in the window. That is now. I learned I'm pretty scary looking, also real dumb the exact same moment. If they happened to a dog, the dog would not have fallen for it, alright? They happened to a pit bull, the pit bull like, nah, fuck him, he's not real, let's find a baby to bite. That's how a pit bull, I'm not anti-pit bull, I'm vegetarian. That was the other thing, I had to lose weight because I told me I was vegetarian, and they think I was lying to them. Like, you can't be vegetarian, you're fat. I'd be like, dude, cake is vegetarian as fuck. I just eat all the cake and gain weight. Like, you don't have to just get fat via brisket. There are other ways to do it. And they're like, why are you vegetarian? I'm like, I feel guilty. I like animals. I feel bad when I eat them. So just call me a bitch if that makes you feel whatever. But I just don't want to do it. Like, oh, so you're saying you care more about animal problems than you do people problems. I'm like, no, I don't eat people either. I don't even understand your logic on that. That seems unthought out. But yeah, I got a bunch of mental problems, and you know what I wish? I wish people would just act surprised when I told them. Like if they could just pretend to be like, oh, what? Really? Oh my God, I had no idea based off of the everything. Like that would be so. They'll just sit there like, yes, and continue. That should be somewhat surprising. That's my goal, is just not look like that much of a lunatic. Last time I was in the psych ward, it was my favorite psych ward because they had unlimited pudding, which is the wrong reason. That's the best reason to do the saddest thing. That is problematic. They had unlimited pudding. And I was all excited. I just tried to kill myself because, whatever, Elliott Smith, I don't know. And I'm there, and this other guy tried to kill himself. I was like, oh, how did you try to do it? I was like, I took like 300 aspirin. And they're like, oh, really? Okay. I'm like, what? And he's just like, oh, it's just a little, that's how everyone does. They try to take pills. I was like, are you calling me a hack? What the fuck is going on? What did you do? He was like, oh, I tried to behead myself. And I'm like, dude, you failed. Why are you giving me shit? That's not a bragging point. Also, you're like, all you did was put like ISIS into mental health crisis. That's all that was at the end of it. And also now you got a hole in your neck, so whenever you eat psych meds, it just comes out the side like a broken Pez dispenser. So you can't be bragging about that. You want to be less hacky. All right, how's this as a next suicide attempt? Next time, I'm going to kill myself by shoving a helium tank up my ass. And then when they pull it out, I'm going to fly around the room like a deflating balloon. Does that sound original enough for you, you fucking weirdos? I don't know. That was my favorite hospital because of the pudding, like I said earlier. And no, legit, it's bad. Healthcare's bad wherever you go. There's no perks wherever you go. But the pudding, that's real, you know? And I got upset because a lady tried to kill herself by shoving pens up her. There's a lot of suicide in set. She tried to kill herself by shoving pens up her nose. And the hospital went, fine, no spoons outside of meals. I was like, you should have taken the pens away. What the fuck did the spoons do in this situation? Who is coming off crazy right now? So they took the spoons away except for meals. I was like, fuck that. I've been here for 4 weeks. I'm here for another week. I am not going to stand here and have you take my fucking pudding away So I cut holes in my shorts, I ripped holes in my shorts, and after every meal I just stick a spoon into my shorts, and it's like a defined moment, like, yeah, you can control my freedom, you can't control my fucking spoons. I hid them in my sock drawer, so I surveyed like 50 dirty fucking spoons just in my sock drawer for no real reason. My mom visits me, I tell her this, she goes, what are you doing? She like looked horrified. She goes, if they find a bunch of dirty spoons in your sock drawer, they're going to keep you here longer. I'm like, no, that would be you saying I should give them back? Well, that would be way worse. That would be so much worse if I walked up to a psychiatric nurse holding 50 dirty spoons, placed them into their hand and went, these are for you now. That would keep you here so much longer than what... It found them, nothing happened, I don't know.
I was so depressed in high school. They put me in special ed, but they didn't tell me it was special ed. They surprised me. They told me they were going to put me in a program. That doesn't help depression as a kid. That's not the right treatment. It's tricking them into special education. That was a big self-esteem moment because I was waiting in front of my house for the bus to pick me up. I see the bus, and my first thought is, where is the other half of that bus? Then the bus pulls up, I get on the bus, the whole bus goes silent. And they look at me like, we don't know who you are, and you're not one of us. But if we like you, we will make you our leader. And then a heavily autistic walked over, slapped me in the face, told me to suck his dick. That was my first 15 seconds on the special bus. I'm not saying that it's everybody's, it was mine. I was looking around like, do I have to? They were looking at me like, hey, you want to fit in? Stick it in. Like, they were just this weird moment. Here's the thing about special ed kids, they're just like everyone else. They're cool ones, they're assholes. 98% of them were real cool. One kid was an asshole. Every day he sat behind me, flicked me in the back of the head, and called me retarded. And one day, like 3 months in, I snapped, I go, you want man? Fuck you. Bus driver turns around while driving and goes, hey, you can't talk to him that way. I go, why not? She looks me in the eyes and goes, because he's more retarded than you are. I was like, fuck, I didn't know I was retarded at all. This is a terrible way to find out. This makes so much more sense than depression. But we finally got a revenge because the bus driver was so mean. They were so fucking mean. We got a revenge when the special needs bus driver drove the special bus into a regular-sized school bus. She crashed into a building-sized bright yellow bus with stops and screaming. She crashed into it. I ain't yelling at her. I waited for her to get back in the bus. She sat down and I went, hey! Looks like you're more retarded than we are. And that's how I became the leader. That's how I became the leader of the special bus. They have a plaque made of bubble gum with my name on it. Miss those guys.
Oh wait, that music is still playing. It's fine. Don't worry. We'll fix this in post. How are you guys doing? I'm on Vicodin, so I need to calm down. I don't usually sit down when I do stand up, but I'm gonna have to. I'm in fucking pain. It's fine. I love you all. I wish I could say, oh man, I hurt my back doing something athletic or amazing. I hurt my back twisting over to turn the volume down on my wireless keyboard because the porn clip I was watching was louder than expected. That's how I hurt my back. This is the state of my life now. Fuck it. Can we be too woke? That's the question I'm asking. Can we be too woke? I think the answer is yes, because I was walking across the street on Normandy and 3rd, and while I was walking across the street, a young white boy looked me in my eyes, gave me a smooth head nod, and said, "What's up, black?" And I didn't know how to respond to that. Do I discipline the child? Is this what gentrification feels like? Like, what is the proper response to this moment? World's changing. Like, we got
we gotta be woke, but I guess there's a line. I don't know. Like, will I live long enough to see transgender athletes demand their own categorical distinction? That's the question I have, and I'll tell you how I got to this conclusion. First and foremost, I'm from Texas, love my home state, but recently, a young transgender athlete won the state competition in wrestling 2 years in a row. She won girls wrestling 2 years in a row. And everybody in my home state is mad for all kinds of different reasons. Some people are saying, well, it's not fair that she's wrestling girls. She wasn't born a girl. And other people are saying, well, she can't wrestle boys because they don't feel right wrestling someone different. It's fucked up. It's like, she still had to wrestle. That's the whole thing. It's not like she just walked out there and won. She still had to compete. She still had to train. And I don't know if you played high school sports before, but if you play high school sports in Texas, the most important thing is winning. Why are we fucking up this child's wins? I think she needs her own distance. She needs her own category now. Yes, I understand people hear that and go, oh, well, that's not inclusive. No, it's totally inclusive. It's her own category, because if you're a wrestler in high school, the best you can achieve on the professional level is the WWE. And if she had her own category right now, she would be an undefeated national champion. There aren't that many transgender wrestlers. She whooped their asses, you know? Now imagine a new wrestler debuts in the World Wrestling Entertainment brand. She's an undefeated national champion transgender wrestler. Do you realize those storylines just write themselves? She'll be the first wrestler to hold the women's, men's, and tag team titles simultaneously. She'll be great. Now, the reason I came to the conclusion about how woke we should be or how woke we need to be is because either this country needs to get woke or I gotta get sober. And I'm not getting sober anytime soon. I travel around the country, comedy in small towns, and I have to go into the women's restroom to do coke. That's the whole point of my travels, is I do drugs in the women's restroom in bars in St. Louis because the men's restroom is fucking gross. It's gross there. It's the middle of the country. Of course it's gross there. They got troughs. They still have piss troughs in some of the places. I'm not breathing deeply in the men's restroom when I'm in the middle American city. God, no. I'm walking in the women's restroom. But the problem is, every time somebody in a small town sees me walk out of the women's restroom, they go, oh, that's one of those lefty California weirdos. And I'm like, no, man, I just like doing drugs in a comfortable environment. That's not weird. And honestly, how are you creeped out if a trans person walks into your bathroom? Like, what? Look, if you take the sign off the door, it's all the same plumbing behind it. You know what I mean? Just, it's the same thing. It's not, everything's flushing. Whenever I talk to people in the South and they like don't understand how to comprehend transsexual life, I tell them the same thing. Doc, it's all the same plumbing. It doesn't matter what the cover is. It's like they're gonna flush whatever they put in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Got phobias. When I was a kid, my uncle would just say, you acting like a little bitch. But now I know I have phobias. I have actual fears. I got fear. I don't like looking old black men in the eyes. I hate it. I hate looking at old black men in the eyes. Not because I'm a terrible person. I'm a nerd. I believe in shit like time travel and loopers. And I believe if I look an old black man in the eyes, he's going to deliver the message to me. That means I have to save the future and I don't have that much free time. You know, I'm trying to achieve some shit. I believe in the 12 Monkeys theory of time travel. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but I recommend it. It's Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis. It's very good. But the central idea is if you send a hero from the future to save the past through the space-time continuum, it fucks with their brain chemistry. So the hero from 2027 with the key to stopping the world from polluting itself ends up being a crazy man in 1974 in Times Square. That's the whole premise. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with an old black man. But if you ever have, no matter how senile and crazy an old black man is, he will talk to you as if it's a regular conversation. Every time I talk to an old black man, it's a weird interaction that I have to think about for a long time because, again, I don't know if this is the message. One time I was walking, one time I was in church and an old deacon came up and touched shoulder and looked me deep in my eyes real brotherly and said, young brother, you know avocados is alien babies, and now I have to every day. No, I mean, like, they're shaped like eggs and they age like meth addicts. So yeah, I can see there might be human DNA in this fruit vegetable thing. Like, are we eating people? Is this the Soylent Green I heard about? One time I was walking out of a Rouse, and an old black homeless man looked me in my eyes and yelled, "Give me a banana, I'll kill you." Which is a very aggressive sales pitch. Like, why would you threaten my life for produce, sir? That's not how you make friends. And also, I couldn't give you a banana if I had one, because I haven't bought a fruit or a vegetable in like 6 months. Jesus Christ, you're almost 40, Quincy. You're falling apart over here. Take care of yourself. You gotta save the future. Like, gotta say, I don't know, do I have to, you guys came out in the midst of a national crisis, so thank you so much for risking your lives. I don't know if I could save all of you, but individually I might save 1 or 2, so I'll try to keep favorites and shit. I didn't time this, I should have, I'm a terrible person, so it's fine. Very enthusiastic about life right now. Not in like a bad way, it's just like I've lost the zest. I don't have youthful vigor anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a curmudgeon now. I'm settling into it. I'm fine. Just sit on the porch and yell at kids. It feels good. It's relaxing. I think I've had all the sex. Not like a bragging way, like, hey man, I've had all the sex. No, I think I've had all the sex I thought I would have at the age of 16, and I'm not inventive, so where do I go from here? Every time I go out with a new woman and we end up having sex, she wants me to be excited about it, and I'm like, nah, I've done this before. I'll do it, but I'm not going to be excited for it. It's like if I play Mega Man, like I know how to beat the levels already, so it's not, oh, there's a challenge here. It's like, nah, just hit the buttons. Mathematical at this point. I think sex and salsa follow the same trajectory in my life. That's what I think about. These are the types of thoughts I have. I think sex and the condiment salsa have both followed the same path within my life. Because I learned about sex the same way I learned about salsa. I was watching TV late at night when I wasn't supposed to. It blew my mind, and I went to school the next day and asked all my friends, holy shit, have you heard of salsa? Have you seen salsa? Salsa's amazing. Now my friends were like, yeah man, I saw salsa on TV too. And then my one boy was like, I had salsa at camp. He ain't never had salsa at camp. Oh, she was Canadian and she gave you salsa? Every time we went out to parties, first thing I would ask my friends is, yo man, if we go to this party, is there gonna be some salsa at this party? You know what I'm saying? Like, will there be some? Look, we some condiment getting individuals, but I want to make sure if we go to this party, there'll be salsa. And my friends would always guarantee me, like, I mean, we can't tell you there'll be salsa, but you can definitely try to make some while you're there, you know. Then you get to the party and all you do is talk to people about making salsa and see who likes making salsa as much as you. And you go on the dance floor and show your techniques, and then she shows you her techniques, and hopefully you get to take somebody home and make salsa together for the first time. And honestly, it's better when you have an extra pair of hands in there. Oh, you got techniques I didn't even know existed. Jesus, this is great. I think you're a good Christian man from the South, so you end up dedicating yourself to the woman who gave you salsa for the first time, because that's what the good book told you, and you end up eating salsa every day for 3 years. Whenever you go to parties, people be like, hey man, you bringing salsa with you? And it's like, nah, again, I'm still a condiment getting individual. I'm not about to bring salsa to every party we go to. I got some old queso I want to break out. Old side dish, I got this old side dish. I know your girl didn't like her, but let me try her one more time. But if I go to a party and somebody else brings salsa, I'm going to be pissed off because that's my main dish. Dog, why are you bringing my main to the party when... My whole point is I just want to try ramen. Can I try ramen? Because I was in Texas, there was one ramen spot the entire time I was in Texas, and everybody who had eaten there was like, hey Quincy, it's cool, but it's not that great. But now I'm out here and there's ramen everywhere. You can't put salsa in ramen. I tried, she didn't like it. Alright, I'm done. Bye.
Our next comic is another
Jackson. That is some nice words.
Yeah.
I need to hear that because I started seeing a new therapist this morning. I walked in, start telling them my life story. Like 30 seconds in, they interrupt me and they say, "You have depression." And I said, "I have depression?" And they said, "No, you make a terrible first impression. Also, your hearing sucks." "I'm not your therapist. This is a gas station." I said, "Then I'll take a quarter tank and drive to a gas station who gives a shit about me. Thank you very much." To avoid killing myself, I decided to start listening to the Oprah podcast. Yeah. I figure if I can survive listening to that shit, I can survive anything. That's right, I'm coming right after you, Oprah. Unpops is taking me out. I wrote down something Oprah and Eckhart Tolle said. I don't know if Soda is listening to today. They say your coping mechanisms as a child become your character defects as an adult, which would explain how I became a wet blanket. I didn't know if that'd work or not. I haven't checked Twitter since I posted it a few minutes ago. But to explain, my coping mechanism as a child, wetting my bed, would lead to my character defect as an adult of being a wet blanket. If I do that joke with a PowerPoint, I swear to God it'll make sense. Conceptually strong. It is lacking the reaction necessary for it to be verified as a good joke. You think I'd move on, but no, I'm just going to keep talking about how my expectations weren't met. Because I am in tune with myself and I'm able to identify those emotions. Thank you, gas station therapist. Having a pretty good day though. Actually today I set the record for most amount of girls' numbers I've ever gotten in a single day. Feeling pretty good. I got 3 girls' numbers. I got in a 4-car accident. Crushing it on the 405. Literally and figuratively. No one's gonna believe this. No, I made it funny. It's just so insane. But I got in a car accident the other day with a girl in Hollywood and Vine, and we hit each other. We both got out of our cars. Everyone's okay. We're very cordial, very friendly. We exchange each other's insurance info or licenses. And I said, "Hey, I better get your number just in case there's insurance issues, whatever." She goes, "Sure." I put it on my phone. I go start texting her, and a text history immediately pops up. And I was like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "What's your number again?" I double check. I'm like, "Oh." And I scroll up, and I'm like, "Oh, we apparently went on a date 2 years ago." And she's like, "Wait, was it downtown?" I'm like, "Yeah, Bar Clans." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you never called me." And I was like, "I was just waiting till we run into each other." She did not appreciate that. But I thought that punchline was 2 years in the making, so I'm okay with it. I got a dog last year. That's pretty exciting for me, anyways. My 2018 resolution was to get a dog. So I did. Makes me very happy. The only problem is, since I got that dog, when I wake up in the morning, my bedroom always smells like dog farts. So for 2019, my resolution has been to lay off the dog food. My dog sleeps outside. I hope the guy at the bar laughing and pounding the table is laughing at my joke and not some anecdote where the laughter timed up at the same time. So right now, I'm killing it in that direction with one person. I'm very aware of the room right now. So I got a dog, yeah, later this year. I think Tom was talking about losing 50 pounds. Since starting comedy, I have lost 107 pounds. Completely true. Thank you. If anyone's wondering just exactly how much a soul weighs, that's your answer. I can't lose any more weight and I'm dead inside. People say, "What's your secret? Is it a special diet or exercise? What is it?" All I did is a couple years ago I read this study that said whenever you're hungry, ask yourself if you want an apple. If you do, you're actually hungry, but if you don't, you're just eating out of boredom, anxiety, or depression. And ever since reading that study, I realized in my 34 years of existence, I've yet to be hungry one single fucking day in my entire life. I was supposed to take better care of myself because I have ulcerative colitis, so to clean up the diet because of that. There's nothing really funny about colitis. Your insides are just covered with ulcers. Good times. But I went and saw a specialist, and he was a pretty nice guy. But he said, I need you to fill this out every day for 3 months and then come back and see me. And he gave me what's called a food mood poop journal. It's like, fill it out every day. So I come back 3 months later, I hand him my journal, he looks at it, and he just starts yelling at me, like really angry. And I'm like, what? He's like, you had this journal for 3 months, and all he did was wrote the word shitty. So that's my food mood poop journal. I documented my mood every day. He's kind of mean to me, so I got a second opinion. I've been seeing this lady doctor behind his back, but I haven't told him about it yet. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you tell the only man that's ever been inside of you that you're leaving him for another woman? It's gonna kill at the gastroenterology convention, you guys. Do well there. Trying to implement different ways of being healthy in my life. Like at our office, they decided to force health upon us, and they got us all standing desks. The way it works is they just sold our chairs. Should have opened with the innocent jokes and worked my way up to suicide. Better the other way around. Despite doing comedy, I'm actually pretty well educated. I don't know. I did go to school and all that stuff. I got a Master of Science degree in creativity. That's a real thing. Never really gets a laugh, but if you have $30,000 to get a piece of paper on the wall that says you're a Master of Science in creativity, might I suggest that master's degree? Never gets a laugh. That's my most expensive joke. That's a $30,000 joke right there. You guys, big love for my intro. I'll enjoy the rest of the show.
Your next comment comes from the best movie ever podcast on the Unpops Network. Let's do it
Hey. You guys want to hear a story about the time I almost died watching Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Because you're gonna. So you might as well be into it. I need to preface that story though by first telling you a different story, explaining some things about my life. My life has been a series of traumatic events undercut by very bad movies. So, if my life was a highway, as a great poet once suggested, it'd be 100 miles of just barren road with nothing but the cinematic equivalent of Thunderbird motels at every single exit. Just a sea of RoboCop 2s as far as the eye can see. Gotta go to the bathroom, Dad! We should have said something at the last RoboCop 2. Next RoboCop 2 is not for 20 miles! Here, pee in this mayonnaise jar. Your parents ever have you pee in a mayonnaise jar on a long road trip? Well, mine did. Didn't ruin mayonnaise for me, though. Anyway, so, when I was a kid, my parents called me and my brother downstairs for a family meeting, and they sat us down, and they were like, kids, we have something very important to tell you. We're getting a divorce. And I was kind of too little. Like, I was still at the age where I'm just, banging action figures together, getting weird boners, watching Rescue Rangers, so I was just, But my brother was older, so it really upset him. He started crying real hard. And so I saw that he was crying, so then I started crying. And my parents were flipping out. They're like, no, it's okay. We still love you, and we're still a family. We're still a family. And to prove this to us, they sat us down on the couch for the very last activity we would ever do together as a family. We watched Crawl. To soften the blow of my parents' divorce. If you've not seen Crawl, Picture a bunch of community theater actors trying their best to recreate the events of Star Wars using nothing but props and costumes from a medieval pornography shoot. That's what they did to show us that there was still magic left in the world. See, it's okay. You still have Chrome. I do. Flash forward a couple of years in college, serious relationship, dated this girl for a few years. It was a long distance relationship, and things were not going well. We were in a rough patch, so I thought I would drive up there and visit her to, you know, sort of rekindle the passion, kickstart my heart. So I get up there, and my big romantical gesture was to take her out to see Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. So, took her out the movie, came home, went to bed, got up the next morning and drove home, and I never saw her again. That is a true story. Zero embellishment. That is a historical text. So yeah, now that I've told you that, I can tell you the story of how I almost died watching Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, I'm in my bedroom, alone at my parents' house, watching Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I'm at the part where Shia LaBeouf is in a sword fight with Cate Blanchett, straddling two jeeps as they drive through the jungle. And I'm watching this swashbuckling LaBeouf. And I realize I'm going to die alone. Now, I know I'm not the first person to contemplate suicide while watching Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I might be the only person to watch Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, contemplate suicide, act on that impulse, and then failing to die, finish watching the movie. I was just like, I guess I'll see how this turns out. It's a metaphor in many ways. I've never been a car guy. My stepdad tried to make me one for a while. When I was a kid, he would feed me these little car tips every now and then. He just, try to prepare me for my adult life as a person who would own a car. And I remember one time he was driving me to school, and the car made some kind of noise. He looks at me and says, "You know what that is? That's the engine letting you know it's time to shift." I was like, I'm 9. I masturbate to the X-Men cartoon. I've broken every toy I've ever owned. I'm not ready for this apprenticeship. I don't know what you want from me. I'm still not much of a car guy. Earlier this week, I went down into my car and tried to start it. Put the key in and turn it. It wouldn't start. So rather than get out of the car and maybe look under the hood and try to figure out what's wrong with it, I just sat there and kept turning the key. Like Ed Harris in The Abyss, refusing to accept Mary Elizabeth Bestrantonio's death. Like, you die with me, damn it! You've never quit your life! Except that time at Kmart, I had to get a ride home from a tow truck driver with a Class I.
Hey, you guys keep it down. Fuck you, keep it down.
The good crowd going on that. Let's go, real well.
Yeah, put it in there.
So why do witches build candy houses? Do they not know how easy kidnapping is? Like, hundreds of kids get kidnapped every day. 0 candy houses involved. You're in more trouble trying to steal a microwave. People open fire on shoplifters in a parking lot of Home Depot. Meanwhile, you can drag a struggling child into your car through the same parking lot, and people just be able to be like, "Okay, that's a bad parent. Kid's gonna grow up maladjusted." Joke's on you, that kid's not gonna grow up. But you're trying to trick the most gullible kind of human. You're trying to bring actual magic into this. You just tell the kid you have a candy house will follow you right to your basement. You don't got to build the thing, you're just creating extra work for yourself. One bite of this enchanted apple and the child shall fall into a deep slumber from which he'll never awaken. Or yeah, you just grab him. I mean, you could bring fruit into this. If anything, the apple's gonna make the kids suspicious. An apple, huh? You're not the cool adult I thought you were. Get a candy house and maybe we'll talk. Alright guys, thank you so much. This is my time.
Let's keep the night going. Your next comic is so lovely. I love her so much. She has amazing hoop earrings on. Clap so loud for Annabelle Quayle.
Hi everybody. Hello. I'm Latina. Don't clap for that. We're everywhere. Hi. Yeah, we are everywhere. And I have a very, very white partner. He is very white. I said partner because I'm 36 and boyfriend doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth anymore. I cannot do boyfriend anymore. Very, very white man in my life. He is. And I know as a brand lady that sometimes people, they're like, oh no, maybe you should have been with another Latino or whatever. They kind of think I'm a traitor a little bit, but you can't hate on me because his dick tastes like health insurance. Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, it tastes like bougie and rich, and oh God, it tastes like PPO, choice, yeah. Oh, any doctor? That is definitely what it tastes like. It's delightful. How white is he? I'm so glad you asked. How white is he? His middle name is Berenson. That is the whitest name. That is the name that sounds like you have to have an overbite and an underbite to say it. That is the whitest name. How white is he? Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. He just got in a skiing accident. That is the whitest injury you can ever get. That is the whitest accident. The only thing whiter than that is if he fell off of a yacht into sharp money. That is, it's very white. It's very white. We come from very different worlds. I come from a town, I grew up in a town that had 2 prisons, a bar, and premium quality racism. Just, artisanal, straight from the source. What happens when you leave white folks by themselves, you know? No books, Confederate flags in the front window. That's where I live. That was real crazy. Not my house, the neighbors. Very different worlds. I think I'm gonna keep this guy around. He's very fun. Mostly because I just met his mother, and I think she likes me. And at 36, I can't break in a new mom. That's not a thing I can do. It's not, I'm not at the age of mom wooing. That's not what we do. She's very interesting. Her name is Anne, and my name is Anna. And we're just never going to talk about how he might want to fuck his mom. That's just I can't have with him. It's very fun. I respect Anne. She's scary as fuck. Anne is terrifying. And here's why. She is basically a CEO of a national company, and if I were to tell you which company, she would have laser beams shoot me with a drone. Like, I'd be dead. I would be dead in a minute. She's very high. When I met her, she was wearing a Chanel suit and red bottom shoes. And how those shoes got bloody was walking through the men that stood in her way. She is a terrifying ass bitch. And I respect her. She's hard to shop for. I know that seems like a minimal concern, but what do you get the woman who has everything? You know what I mean? I bring her a corgi, but the queen already has that. So you can't do that. She made a list of things. The least expensive thing on the list I could get her for Christmas was $75 backwash. If I had $75 to spend on backwash, I'd have glasses. I do not have an HD TV. Why? Because I don't have HD eyes. It's wasted on me. It is wasted on me. How am I doing lately? Oh my God, I just got over a cold that felt like hot peanut butter had been poured into my sinuses. I don't know. Don't worry, I'm not sick anymore. And if I am, I will lick this microphone. No, it was crazy. I was recently in a 7-Eleven. This happened to me. How am I doing? I was in a 7-Eleven and a homeless man approached me and gave me $1. And at first I thought, do I look homeless? What's happening? Then I saw a reflection in the mirror and I was like, no, bitch, you look sickening. You're not looking homeless right now. This is just the first $1 to the rest of your cult. That's what's happening. This is a man paying tribute. I wanted to try that. It went fine. How else am I doing it lately? My hairdresser just gave me a crystal. That's how I'm doing. Keep all your negative energy away. Oh my God, okay, I just wanted to try those lines. I had a very strange last couple of years. I had my period for 300 days in a row. Yeah, and I didn't die, guys. I didn't die. That's how you know I'm a witch. That's how you know. God put the nose on the right bitch. I am the bruja. I curse 3 of you. You're not going to know which 3. That's how good I am. It's crazy. And then I had a really cool moment. I got to meet one of my heroes. I got to meet Jennifer Lopez. What? Jennifer the Block? What? That was crazy. My friend, he called me and he was like, hey bitch, do you want to go to Vegas and see Jennifer Lopez in concert and meet her after the show? And before I knew it, every Latina cell woke up in me at one time, and I was just like, oh, stupid, of course I do that! Oh my God! I was so excited I grew my own hoop earrings. That's how big that moment was for me. And if you have not seen J-Lo in concert, do it. Like, do whatever you gotta do to go see her. She is amazing. There was at one point a sequined subway car on the stage. That's a New York portion of the show, by the way. That's a Jenny the Block portion of the show. And so she walks around and she looks at the audience and she goes, hey, where are my New Yorkers at? And everybody in the whole stadium goes bug fuck, because since 9/11, we all think we're from New York. So that's a nice moment. So she had to double check. She was like, hey baby, where are you from? He was like, I'm from Mexico City. And they like shimmied like that and their titties synchronized. It was beautiful. I was so excited. And then she was like, hey baby, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Puerto Rico. And they like twerked together. And it was like crazy because their butts synchronized. It was amazing. And then she leans over and she goes, hey baby, where are you from? And the guy goes, I'm from Fresno, California. And she just went, oh, and walked away. Savage! I'm a professional roaster. I'll never be that fucking mean. That was, oh, it was beautiful. It was brilliant. So then her people, they come and get us, and they take us up to her dressing room. And I've met famous people before, but I haven't met J-Lo famous people before. Like, her dressing room had a waiting room, and that waiting room was full of snacks no one was going to eat but me. I'm just Pac-Man my way through this room, just like, she's 48, she's got twins 11 years ago, I gotta get my shit together, oh my God, amazing. And then the room fills up with exactly who you think it's gonna fill up with, just boys in sequins going, yes, queen, it was everything, except for one person I couldn't quite place. There was this lonesome, dumb, Wyatt Earp ass-looking cowboy in the corner, and I looked at J-Lo's assistant and I just said to her, hey, I did a lot of acid when I was a kid, and she said, the cowboy is real. And that is the moment I got to have. And then J-Lo walked in the room, and everybody took an instinctive step back because perfection needs space. She's perfect. I've never looked as young as J-Lo looks right now at 48. I was born looking older than J-Lo right now. And she looked at me, and she just turned, she looked me dead in the eye. And she was like, do you want to take a picture? And in that moment, I was more beautiful, I swear to God. And here's the thing you need to know about me that I was supposed to tell you at the beginning of the bit, but I got excited and forgot. I love complimenting people. I do it all the time. I'm intense about it though. Like I'll compliment you until you forget who hurt you. That's how I will come at you and be like, you have early eyes. Like I'm too much. I am too much. I also compliment people sometimes and it just comes out like roast jokes. Like, sir, I love how you're clearly in a relationship, but you guys haven't touched in like an hour. I appreciate your independence. Like, it never comes out good. It never comes out good. It's always strange. So I turn and I'm like, just be normal right now, Anna. Don't be you. Just take a picture with J-Lo and leave with your dignity, please. Don't do anything crazy. And before I could stop myself, I grab her by both of her hands and I look at her with the intensity of a woman who once bled for 300 days and didn't die. And I unleashed all of that intense compliment and just went, "You're inspiration!" And she went, huh, and walked away. All right, thanks guys.
Your next comic is another one of the Mean Boys. Oh my gosh, of the notorious Mean Boys podcast. Clap it up for Comic
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I always like this bar because this feels like the bar from Star Wars 4, but if it wasn't aliens, it was Armenians a little bit. So it's maybe, okay, well, I should just leave at this point. That wasn't very encouraging. Hi guys, just got a new car. I just bought a Prius right before I had this big road trip in the South. A bunch of comic shows down there, and I learned that when you drive a Prius through the South, the folks there look at you like you're driving a black dick into a veteran's mouth. They hate you so much. It commands no respect on the road. And watch, the Prius, by the way, doesn't even honk when you press the steering wheel. It just goes, "Excuse me." Yeah, I'm trying to merge, sorry. But I had to get someone else because my last car was a real-life PT Cruiser, if everybody's familiar, which was like rolled around in a fucking fanny pack. That was humiliating. Like, that car should come with a Jason Mraz CD and a divorce when you purchase it. It's the kind of car that sends a message, and it sends it from an AOL email address. It's fucking lame. And I lost it and this is true, I was on the 101 South in Los Angeles where my red PT Cruiser got hit by a blue PT Cruiser, which was amazing. I gotta figure the cop that showed up to that accident was just like, I guess the Bloods and the Crips are letting white people in now. That's very nice. It's a nice move. It's kind of an uncomfortable time to be a white guy these days. I was talking to another white dude the other day about white privilege, and he had a take I hear kind of a lot, but he was like, you know, man, I don't believe in this whole white privilege business. I didn't choose to be white. And I was like, but you would have. You know what I mean? You definitely would have. You got to pick what race you were before you were born. Let's just say the line for white would be pretty competitive. Because it's easier. It's a lot easier way to go. It's not good that it is, but you shouldn't pretend like it is. Like I always say, being a white dude, it's kind of like playing the tutorial level of the video game of life. You know, if you fuck up, you just go right back where you started. It's mapped out very clearly. There's always little helpers scattered around in case you get stuck. You guys probably call them the police, but they're there. That's right. I feel like it's weird that there's still, you always thought, you know, you had that little myth when you were a kid that, just racist, a bunch of old people, they're dying, and then they'll be gone in like 20 years in harmony. But they're making new ones, and it's funny that the shit that gets people to buy in isn't even that convincing. I saw a guy I went to high school with around the internet the other day. Well, you know what? I should be able to say the N-word, because guess what? Irish people were slaves too. And I was like, ooh, it's about to be an eventful day on Facebook. Let's dig into the comments, shall we? And I was reading that shit like, oh, I don't know, I'm Irish. My name's Connor McSpadden. My parents could have just called me Potato and a drinking problem, and I would have been lateral move. And I was looking into it. It's this bullshit Ben Shapiro thing where you equate indentured servitude and slavery. It's not even close to the same thing. But I was pretty sure, just based on my horse sense, that my people, the Irish, had never been slaves for a couple of reasons. Number one, because Irish music is fucking terrible. Yeah, I feel like if I was oppressed at any point in history, I might be able to clap on beat to a Temptation song without having to copy the nearest black guy. You know what I mean? And I know what you're saying, what about Thin Lizzy? I've looked into it, the singer is a black dude. It doesn't count. And the second reason is because Irish people would just be terrible slaves. There's fucking nothing we are cut out for less than the outdoors and hard work. Are you kidding me? And by the way, I'm not just making sweeping generalizations, but I've been to Ireland, all right? I made the pilgrimage to White Africa, and what it is 4.5 million people doing the bare minimum to keep the liquor industry afloat. So, there's no fighting spirit. We don't overcome things. It's, to be honest with you, the whole island is essentially a retirement home for livers. It's pretty sad. And we came to America, it's not because we were enslaved, it's because we had a potato famine, and what happened there is we all fucked up farming so badly that we had to move to another hemisphere. Now, these are not the folks you want to bring in to farm on your plantations. That would be like importing a bunch of Mexicans to make your party quieter. It just doesn't add up logistically. All right, all right, let's see how this goes. I don't know, I've been thinking about this stuff a lot lately. I'm trying to figure out, it's funny, white guys just have such a tough time with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. They can't just say it. They always go, what about the blue guys stuff? You know, like, it's always a lot of caveats and qualifying. And I think there's I think I've figured out what that is, why they just don't fucking get it. Is number one, obviously we've never been enslaved, disenfranchised, and dismissed. We can never relate to it, we can never understand what that's like. And the second funnier reason is that every story about an unarmed white guy getting shot is the funniest thing you've ever read in your life. It's always some dude with the mullet in Florida on a riding mower involved in some kind of harebrained Bud Light misdemeanor. They're not tragic, you know, it's funny stuff when it happens to us. And you read it, and every ingredient of the Black Lives Matter shootings is fucking horrifying. You look at it, it's just like, oh my god, prime of his life, pillar of his community, father of two. But the stories about the unarmed white guy that's getting shot, it's just like fucking Whataburger, Grinch costume, broad daylight. And that was a Black Lives Matter shooting, 17 years old, hoodie, Arizona iced tea. White guy gets shot, 53 years old, Daisy Duke cut off shorts, And by the way, if you're a white guy and you get shot by the police, that's honestly the only time there's a decent chance you actually have it coming. Do you have any idea how hard that is to do? You had the golden ticket, you motherfucker. You blew it. Getting shot by the police is white. That's like a fish drowning. It's nearly impossible. So yeah, that's why you see a group of people chant, I can't breathe, it's heartbreaking, it's moving. But if that was 50 dudes in Skinner shirts going, that's my truck! That's my truck! I wouldn't have the same gravity. Alright guys, I gotta do a quick pussy joke and get on the road. I don't know, this might sound a little condescending, but I apologize. But I think, I feel like a lot of women are a little bit overly optimistic about the cowgirl position. And I don't mean this in a mean way, I think it's honestly because you have beautiful hearts. Because what I mean is, a lot of times when you get up there, and I don't know from experience, but I'd imagine if you're riding the dick, you'd want to keep your like bounces up and down on it, like relatively sort of low and tight and controlled, you know, down in the sort of I'm riding a jet ski, isn't this fun kind of a space. But a lot of times I'll have a girl get up there and maybe she just believes me a little too much, or gets a little too full of the Christmas spirit, but she'll take it like these big, adventurous swings. And I'm always like, this is a dangerous game you're playing here, lady, because you're having 9-inch sex with a 6-inch dick. You know, and then you feel it like pop up and go airborne, and then what do you have to panic and try to hump back up and catch the pussy, so you don't sub your dick like a big toe going up the stairs in the dark. I think about however you want when we do this, but if it goes in your ass, then you hit the factory reset button and turn it off like a Furby. You can die. We gotta be careful. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
So, I just found out in the hallway that your next comic is a 4-time Jeopardy winner.
I didn't do the exact shit.
He also is known for being from cracks.com. He's great. Clap again, squeak and squawk.
You guys, thank you for being here. A little more about me. When I left the apartment today, I tried too hard. I dressed like this, and I was like, sure, I can wear normal comedian clothes. No, I'm gonna dress like it's biology time. Let's do it. Let's teach cells. So here we are. But I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me. Let's see, what else about me? I'm very glad to be in comedy. That's a good thing. I think everybody likes it. It was my second greatest dream growing up, so that's pretty good. That's up there in the list. My number one dream was to be Michael Jordan. I just wanted to fully become that dude. He had the best life. He got to be the greatest athlete in the world, and then he got to hang out with the greatest comedian in the world, Bugs Bunny. It was amazing. Way to be. I did just get to become him, though, in a way, right? It's been a lot of years, it's been a lot of trying, but finally, I am not an NBA fan. I finally did it. I finally have the same rights issues as Michael Jordan. It's really great. Let's see. I'm trying to find fun things in the world lately. There's a lot of them. I'm feeling great. I'm not down. I don't know. I like that you guys are podcast fans. This is like an internet crowd, right? This is very exciting. At least some of you. I looked back and everyone was silent. Like they hate podcasts. But it's comforting. I spend a lot of time, like many of the great comics. I work on the internet. That's my job. Which means my other job that I work, nights and weekends, is explaining my first job. No one understands. I'll just be dealing with anyone who's not us, right? And they'll just be like, what's a podcast? And I have to be like, it's like the radio. And then they're like, what's a YouTube? And I have to be like, it's like TV. And then they're like, what's a Twitter? I have to be like, it's awful. It's very laborious. They aren't just warped by it already. Come on. But I work on it. But I'm trying to find interesting things. I'm trying to find fun things to do, get up to, And I've decided that conspiracy theories are not doing it for me anymore. They're not fun enough. They're not I feel like I just found all the ways they're not that interesting. It's oh, we didn't actually land on the moon. Oh great, so we pulled out the greatest PR stunt in all of history. That's awesome also. Either way, it's cool. We're great. I think it's maybe I've seen too many of them. I just need new something, I think I just act out of heroin. That's bad, right? That's not good. Forget it. That never happened. Okay, great. I don't know. At this point, I think I'm just gonna start pretending real things aren't real. I'm just gonna homebrew my own conspiracy theories the best I can. I think I'm just gonna decide Trump's not real. I think that's just a good thing. Anytime he's on TV, I've never met him. I haven't verified this. Have you? No. We're on a flat Earth with no Trump. And, if he's on TV, I'm just gonna assume it's some interstitial bit of a John Carpenter movie, right? Where it's the president in that, the city's collapsed. And it's escape from wherever we are, it's fun. There's an escape room business, we can hatch out of that. And I don't know, but I think it's very fun to decide real things aren't real, right? Oh, Lincoln's not real now. Great, that's fun, oh, the country was completely divided. How did we save it? A magic giant. Yeah, it sounds made up, Can't believe it. I guess you guys are deeply pro-Lincoln. That's fun. Oh boy. Oh, in the United States? Weird. All right. Let's see. Well, we are in LA. That's a good time. And LA, of all the cities, there's many of them. I've looked into it. And LA is the greatest city in the world. It is number one, the greatest city in the world that I have been hit by a car in. It is the number one top place I've been splattered. I was hit by a car, and it was bullshit because I had no epiphanies. I had no, I'm supposed to be midair and realize, oh, that's the meaning of life. You're supposed to transform and this, I just figured out I'm weird, which I was pretty on top of it. I I had received the card in the mail and everything, you know, I knew. And that was mainly because I had this maybe even stranger paramedic. He was dressed like the professionals, he seemed like the guys who do it, but they were, you know, I was laying there and I was like, this is a big night, I'm gonna treat myself. So I called an ambulance. And original Uber, they swing by. And then they load me, and then they're loading me out at Hollywood Presbyterian, which I think is next door. So think about it. Haven't been here in a while, and I think that's a thing. Great place, I recommend it. They're unloading me, and this paramedic says, "Hey man, there's some characters in that hospital. It's like the bar from Star Wars." And then in we go. And that's time for doctors. Time for, hey, you know? And I think he just likes doing that as a bit, you know? Because we all need this, you know? And so he's doing that to people, and I think there's usually no reaction. But he's got me, so he's like, "Hey man, there's some characters in that hospital. It's like the bar from Star Wars." And then I go, "Well, at least there's live music." Bugged him. It was great. Not true, also. Just recordings of that exact music from Star Wars. It was really great. But it's a good time. I mean, this is an amazing lineup. I don't know how often you guys go to comedy shows or see comedy done, but I can share, you know, a story from seeing the shows, seeing stuff. I got to see a 12-year-old do stand-up. And you might think, 12, that's young. Exactly. And I'm there, right? And it starts with a professional comedian, real bait and switch. And he's like, "Hey, you know, I have a few more minutes, but I want to donate my time to a young comedian named Ethan. I think he's really great. You're going to love him. Please go for Ethan." And I was like, "Yeah, Ethan," you know, stuff. And Ethan comes up, he's 12, and he's also pretty good. He's pretty put together, like he has punchlines and setups. He doesn't fall down or nothing. But also he was pretty specific to that life. He had stuff like Capri Sun packaging is weird, you know, and being in 7th grade is way different from 6th grade, you guys. It's way different as well. And then he closed on like, "What do I do about my boners?" You know, and nobody knows what he did. But anyway, it was fun, right? Because he's doing all this stuff, and he was doing it because you know, because kids are dumb. They're stupid. So it's really bad and just shitty at everything. You know? So it's fun. Idiots. Yeah, they suck. Anyway, sorry. I was just in that. Okay. Is that okay? Coors Light packaging is weird. Being in your 30s is really funny, you guys, right? What do I do about my boners? Okay. Nobody knows. Okay. I'm getting a little bit older, I think, you know, time. We okay. And I don't know, I used to be young, and I used to be fun, and I used to be able to drink, right? I used to drink all the time, you know? But now I start to feel sick after like a little bit of breast milk. And I don't know why that is. Or what's causing it. I used to live on that shit. You think I'm kidding? At this time in the show, I always like to bring up God. And living in LA, I think I realized that I do not have religion anymore. It's fine if you do, you know, keep it up. Hey. But I was walking out to my car one day, and I could see out in the distance there was like a printed, folded document underneath the windshield wiper. And I was thinking the whole way what you think, you know, like, oh no, pardon take. Get to the car, pull up the document. Big capital letters on the front, it says, "A message from Christ." And my brain, before I can tell it not to, says, "Oh, good. It's just a message from Christ. And I think that's my time. So thank you very much. Take care, guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for doing it.